Hello, welcome back to Let's Play SimCity 4. Well, the more observant of you might be immediately noticing that this isn't the Great Outdoors. That's the name of the region where I've been playing for the last 49 episodes, by the way. And you'd be right, this is Prospect Bay, and it doesn't have 1,000,000 people, instead, just 55,000. Yeah, there's been basically my main intention, which you'll already know if you've been watching my videos religiously, is that in this region I want to create some organic cities. So, for the purpose of role-playing, I'm going to say that this region has been under development for a while, but with no central authority. So the 50,000 people that have come here have founded settlements, and have done so without too much planning or direction. Anyway, but now that the population is capped 50,000, the government's taken an interest, and they want to bring some great big changes to Prospect Bay. So, the first places we're going to take a look at are these three cities here. And we'll start out with Port Deliverance. They've been growing for a while. None of them have too much more room for new growth in their immediate outskirts, but each of them have a fair amount of demand pent up, so the government has decreed that they are going to build the region's first intercity road between these three cities. Alright, so shouldn't take too long to start. As you can see, the very beginnings of the road have already been laid out right here. It's going to be RHW2 if you couldn't guess. Man, I wonder what these graphical glitches are about. Maybe if I pan away. Maybe zooming in will help? Yeah, it's not coming up right now. Yeah, anyway. This is Port Deliverance. It's the very first city to be founded in the region. You can see the road patterns are a bit, well, you've probably seen ones that make a lot more sense in your time. They have cobblestone roads here in some places, reflecting the history of this place. And a fairly industrial waterfront here. The fisherman's barge, some breakbulk warehouses, ferry landing, basically everything but a functional seaport. Like many towns around here, it's organized around a central public plaza with public buildings and businesses around it. This street here is one of the main ones, so is this. In fact, I think this was the one I intended to be Main Street, even though it doesn't touch the plaza. It's also a connector for some of these outlying farms. Farms really don't extend too far out of the city here in Port Deliverance. That's because of the crazy terrain around here. Yeah. Prospect Bay, it's largely inspired by the US West Coast, especially the Pacific Northwest. And if you've spent too much time around there, you'll know that most places on the West Coast have some pretty craggy terrain. So that's similar here. And there are trees absolutely all over the place where development hasn't already taken root. Let's see if I can get rid of these red seasonal trees before I save and exit the city. Oh, looks good now. Never mind. Did I plop these trees in the wrong season or something? Oh, no, it's good now. Yeah, the tree mod I'm using, you have to plop them in a pretty small window of time if you want the seasonal trees to appear during the correct season of the year. It seems like I got it pretty close with this, but always something to watch out for. Yeah, this is the Pacific Northwest tree mod. Figured it would be a natural fit for this. The terrain mod I'm using is the same as I used in the Great Outdoors. But I'm not sure it was the best choice for the Great Outdoors, to be frank. I mean, there are only so many good terrain mods, but This one is definitely more of a northwestern kind of coloration, right? If anything, the default Maxis terrain mod, or the default Maxis terrain textures would have been fine in the Great Outdoors. But anyway, this beginning segment of the sword has already been laid, so there's not too much left to do here today, except to admire this beautiful roundabout that directs traffic coming into the town to one of 3 arteries, but, well, that's pretty boring. Anyway, let's move on to the next place. It's called Happy Valley, after, I'm not sure if it's a real-life place, but when I read the book Taipan, by James Clavell, yeah, that's the author's name, he referred to a place in Hong Kong that had some malaria problems when the colony was first taken over by the British. Said it was called Happy Valley. I don't know if that's real or not, but this town is named after it. It's another place very similar to Port Deliverance. All of its communication with the outside is through its waterfront. It's a bit more strongly agriculturally oriented, I would say. Port Deliverance, I mean, there's not much of a strong specialization in anything in that city. You know, it's the first place in the region. Can't say that, speaking from an out-of-character perspective, that I had too much of an idea of where I was trying to go when I built it. Happy Valley, completely different story. I already knew that agriculture was the way to go, and well, the farms aren't that great in number, and there is a fair bit of commercial. You can definitely see the different character of the town. I think it's a pretty cool looking place. You know, it follows the natural contours of the terrain. Unlike Port Deliverance, there's still flat ground on the map to build up, but I think it has a very interesting shape. That's why I'm a fan of this place. But anyway, without further ado, let's see if we can find where that RHW2 connects. And frankly, yeah, I'm not seeing it here. Oh no, it's right there. For a minute I was worried that I'd have to go back. But yeah, I mean, this is the very first intercity road in the region, so it does seem fairly people around here don't have too much experience building really complicated roads, so one of the main goals here is to damn, I mean, this is not really cooperating. Why is it raising the terrain everywhere? Ugh. Alright, so yeah, people around here don't have too much experience building roads outside of, you know, streets and towns. So we are going to take a lot of care to make sure that this road doesn't make too many crazy slopes that would require very complex engineering to accomplish. That's why we're using the street tool here in order to level things out. Make sure that everything is, you know, very tame and realistic. Alright, this area is a very dramatic slope right here, so it's going to be the toughest to deal with, but we should be through this area of snags shortly and back onto flatter ground. Yeah, this is flatter ground. So let's quickly demolish all of those street tiles. Let's build the road over the embankment that we just, or not yeah, I think actually that is a correct use of the term embankment that we just completed. hard to... Yeah. Definitely not too many opportunities for straight building in this terrain. But that's the way I like it. One other thing about this region that I'm very set to do is, well, as I already mentioned in my other videos, I installed a slope mod since I started this region. And I intend to... that is hilariously ugly. But yeah, I mean, I'm really going to try to work toward realism in a way that I haven't before, wherever I can. I mean, that seems to be what most people enjoy the most, is realistic cities. They do take a lot more effort, but damn, it sure is rewarding when you figure out you've been doing something wrong for a long time and you put a lot of effort in and you're able to, you know, get completely different results. The other area, you know, where I didn't really focus on realism at all before, I'm now going to focus on a lot more, and I've already started doing that to a very large extent with my development of this region. That is realistic zoning, because wow, why can't I build that there? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so one of the main problems in the Great Outdoors with that region that I never could quite figure out how to fix was I had just too many job-producing lots, especially commercial. And it's not like I have something against commercial lots or something, but in real life, you just don't see that many commercial areas in most cities. You know, the majority of the area is always taken up by residential. So I found out that perhaps one of the reasons why I constantly had high commercial demand was because I hadn't used SimCity 4 Dat Packer with my installation of CAM in order to what's the word I'm looking for? Fix a commonly known demand bug. And now, by repacking my SimCity 1.dat file in my program files folder, and now I've done that, so we'll see how it affects demand when my region gets much bigger. Hopefully it should all be good. So far it seems like I have been pretty successful as far as being able to not build too much commercial, but then again, as you can tell, my region is still mostly agricultural at the moment, so it's not like I've really placed down all that much residential yet either. So we'll see how things turn out with that. But anyway, now that I have the western segment of this road laid down in place, let's build its curves. Very important step for any kind of realistic looking road. There's the first one. Another one. Can't really do too much of anything there. Or there. Oh, damn! Fuck! Well, that terrain's just gonna look derpy forever now. Why isn't it allowing me to place this here? I just can't do it? Okay. Okay. We just won't have curves there, I guess. Yeah, this is not so much a problem of our curves. God damn it. Yeah. There we go. It was just an unrealistic slope problem. So, let's place the rest of these curves. Oh, can't get any over here. Oh well, I guess I could just place the one. Huh. Maybe... Oops! Oh no, I just demolished my waste energy plant. Oh well, gonna have to rebuild that after the dust clears. Some screwy terrain. Huh. Yeah, it looks like it's not... Damn, why won't it tell me why I can't build those things? It's very confusing why it will work in some places and not in others. Oh well, I'll just have my one curve in the middle of these two more abrupt ones. More abrupt things. Yeah. Replace the waste energy facility. Defund it, because that's the way all waste energy plants work. So I think I could do this better. Let's see if that's true or if it's just talk. Alright, yeah, RHW2 S curve. And the 45 degree. Yep. Shame you can't build diagonal S curves. That would be pretty useful. Actually, you know what? I might be able to do something interesting with that using FA curves. Diagonal transitions. For FA RHW, it's at the front, or the RHW2 is at the front, not the back. There we go. So, am I just not allowed to build it here for no apparent reason?